Every single day, more than $1 billion worth of goods moves through the Port of Vancouver. $1 billion every single day. But while the world is watching trade tensions between Washington and Ottawa, Canada is quietly making a move that could reshape its economic future. A move that could change where Canadian products go, who Canada trades with, and how much power Canada has in the global economy. On July 13th, 2026, Canada took a major step forward on one of its biggest infrastructure projects ever, Roberts Bank Terminal 2, a massive 3-berth container expansion near Delta, British Columbia. And the timing caught attention. Just days earlier, the United States announced it would not renew CUSMA in its current form. Canada's response was not to wait. It was not to depend on uncertainty. It was to build. Build new ports. Build new trade routes. Build new opportunities. This is the story of Canada's Pacific pivot.
The Port of Vancouver is already one of Canada's most important economic assets. It is not just a harbor. It is a gateway connecting Canadian businesses to the world. More than 170 global markets are connected through this trade network. Every day, ships arrive, containers move, resources leave Canada and reach customers across the planet. Grain from the Canadian prairies, potash used by farmers around the world, forest products, energy, automobiles, and manufactured goods. But Canada faces a strategic challenge. For decades, the United States has been Canada's largest trading partner. That relationship created enormous economic benefits, but it also created dependence. And when trade uncertainty increases, countries begin searching for more options. That is exactly what Canada is trying to build. Not a replacement for the United States, but an alternative path, a stronger connection to global markets.
And the foundation of that strategy starts on the Pacific coast. The centerpiece of Canada's Pacific strategy is Roberts Bank Terminal 2, known as RBT2, a massive 3-berth container expansion near Delta, British Columbia. The Vancouver Fraser Port Authority selected TerraMarine as the preferred construction partner after a competitive process. The project brings together some of the biggest names in construction: Flatiron Dragados, Aecon, Van Ord, and Carlson Construction Group. The scale of the project is enormous. It includes a new container terminal, a 1,300-meter wharf, a widened causeway, an expanded tug basin, and hundreds of acres of new waterfront industrial land. The construction timeline is already taking shape. Early works are expected to move forward first. Full construction is planned to begin in 2028, and completion is targeted for the early 2030s. When RBT2 becomes operational, Canada will have a much stronger gateway to Pacific trade.
Here is where the numbers become significant. RBT2 is expected to unlock more than $100 billion in new annual trade capacity. It is projected to add billions of dollars to Canada's economy and support tens of thousands of jobs during construction and operations. Container capacity at the Port of Vancouver is expected to increase by more than 30%. A new 3-berth terminal means more ships, more cargo, and more opportunities for Canadian exporters. But RBT2 is only one piece of a much larger plan. The port already handles nearly 30 marine terminals. Different industries depend on this gateway every day. More capacity means Canadian producers can reach international customers faster and more efficiently. And the next target is clear: the Indo-Pacific. Roberts Bank Terminal 2 is only one part of a much larger plan. The first pillar is expanding container capacity. The second is strengthening bulk trade. The Port of Vancouver already operates nearly 30 marine terminals, moving everything from grain to potash to coal to petroleum and forest products. More capacity means Canadian producers can reach international customers faster. The third pillar is rail infrastructure, because most cargo reaching Vancouver does not arrive by ship. It arrives by rail. Without reliable rail connections, even the biggest port can face bottlenecks. The fourth pillar is environmental protection. Canada says economic growth must happen alongside protecting marine ecosystems. That includes investments in whale protection and the Pacific salmon strategy. The message from Ottawa is clear. Build bigger, but build responsibly.
So why is Canada investing so heavily in the Pacific? The answer is simple. Asia. Across the Pacific Ocean are some of the world's largest economies: Japan, South Korea, China, India. Countries with enormous demand for energy, agriculture, resources, and technology. Canada already has strong relationships in the region, but Ottawa wants those relationships to grow. The goal is diversification. More customers, more markets, more choices. Prime Minister Mark Carney's government has made expanding trade beyond the United States a major economic priority. The Pacific Gateway is a key part of that vision. Because geography matters, and Vancouver sits directly on the doorstep of the Indo-Pacific. Now we reach the question everyone is asking. Why is Canada accelerating this strategy now? The answer begins with CUSMA, the trade agreement between Canada, the United States, and Mexico. For years, CUSMA provided stability for North American businesses. But in 2026, Washington announced it would not renew the agreement in its current form. The agreement does not simply disappear immediately. It continues through its review process. But uncertainty itself creates pressure. And Canada understands a basic economic principle. The more options you have, the stronger your position becomes. Canada does not need CUSMA to collapse. Even if the agreement continues, a more diversified economy gives Canada more leverage. The Pacific pivot is not only about ports. It is also about energy. For decades, Canadian oil has mainly moved south to the United States. But Alberta producers want more access to global markets. That is why a proposed Alberta to British Columbia pipeline has become another major piece of the strategy. The idea is straightforward. Move Canadian crude west, reach Pacific ports, connect with buyers in Asia, Japan, South Korea, India, global energy markets. But the project faces major challenges: environmental concerns, cost concerns, and questions about whether Canada can actually deliver large infrastructure projects on time. The history of the Trans Mountain expansion remains a warning. Big projects can create huge benefits, but they can also face huge delays. The Pacific pivot is ambitious, but ambition comes with risks. Environmental groups have raised concerns about Roberts Bank Terminal 2, especially because of its location near sensitive marine ecosystems. The southern resident killer whale population has been a major concern. Some Indigenous leaders have also warned that while national projects create national benefits, local communities experience the direct impacts. Canada says consultation and partnership are central to the process. But the challenge remains: how do you build faster while maintaining public trust? That question could determine whether this strategy succeeds, because infrastructure projects are not built only with money. They are built with cooperation. Canada is also facing competition. The United States is investing in its own Pacific ports. American rail networks are expanding. Global shipping companies have choices. They choose the ports that offer speed, reliability, and efficiency. Every year of delay gives competitors more time to capture future trade routes. That is why Canada believes timing matters. The projects being planned today could shape trade patterns for decades.
A stronger Vancouver gateway could mean more exports, more jobs, more investment, and a stronger position in the global economy. The story of Canada's Pacific pivot is bigger than one port, bigger than one pipeline, and bigger than one trade agreement. It is about a country deciding how it wants to compete in the next generation of the global economy. For decades, Canada's economy was built around one powerful relationship, the United States. Now Canada is trying to create more options, more connections, more influence. Roberts Bank Terminal 2 is one piece of that vision. The pipeline debate is another. Together, they represent a major economic shift. The question is, can Canada successfully build a new Pacific future, or is this strategy too ambitious? Tell us what you think in the comments. And if you want more stories about the biggest economic changes happening around the world, subscribe, because the future of global trade is being built right now.